Hi, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Zelna and I'm the founder of the Kids Life Studio and the Kids Life Coach Academy. And I have been in the Kids Life coaching space since 2003. And I'm here today to reflect back on when I started my coaching practice in 2003. Oh my goodness, I had just come out of the classroom. I was lecturing part-time. And although I had all the knowledge and all the skills from being an educator and understanding the psychology of childhood, there was a lot of guesswork that went on when it came to launching my kids' life coaching practice, my income earning kids' life coaching practice. And so today I wanted to share 2 decades worth of tips and strategies with regards to taking the guesswork out of setting up a sustainable kids' life coaching practice. Because guesswork is simply not a strategy. If you're going to guess your way around setting up your coaching practice, you're not going to get very far. In fact, passion and energy will take you so far, but if you do not have a good, robust, solid system and foundation in place, you are going to eventually struggle and the cracks will show. And I speak about this firsthand because I experienced that in the first 2 years of my coaching practice. When I started my coaching practice, I developed my own program, my own system, one that's used today by coaches in 45 countries and counting around the world. It's an adaptable system. It's trauma informed. But at the time, I knew about my system. I knew about coaching children, but there weren't any organizations out there that were coaching. So I had no benchmark, nothing to measure my success against. What I did know is that I was a stickler for quality. Quality was really important to me. And I always wanted to show up as my best version of myself with regards to being a kids' life coach. But fast track to today, and today's session is really, like I said, about taking the guesswork out of setting up your coaching practice. And I said I was going to give you tips and tools, but I don't want to make it complicated because there's just really three things, only three things that you need to do to take the guesswork out of your coaching practice. And if you stick to these three things, I can guarantee you'll be able to reflect forward, set goals, and work towards your sustainable income earning lucrative coaching practice. So the first thing is, what I realized very early on in my coaching practice is, as a teacher, before I started coaching, I was really used to assessing children, looking at benchmarks, seeing where the children were at. And when I started coaching, I first started with groups. It was a family program that I was working with. And I found that quite easy because parents were present in the first week and the final week of the coaching in the groups. And I was only with the children for 2 weeks on their own with me. And after that, people started requesting individual coaching services from me. And I realized, oh dear, I don't know these children. I don't know their backgrounds. I don't know where they're from. But what I do know is that I cannot go in there blind and work with the child without understanding a little bit more about them and their background. So this meant me understanding the difference between therapy and coaching, because I didn't want to be a therapist and delve into their history. I wanted to look at how I could support these children in moving forward on a positive lifestyle. And so what I did was I developed a lifestyle assessment. And those of you who are already trained in the system and the program that we use at the Kids Life Studio, you would know this assessment tool very well. It's the handiest tool ever. It's open and free for anybody to use. It costs simply $20 for a pre-assessment and a post-assessment. There's 250 questions, 250 questions for parents to answer relating to family dynamics, lifestyle, eating habits, exercise, personality profiling, toxic influences, school environment. And I created this assessment, and initially that assessment was only, if I remember, each section, there were 10 sections, there were 10 questions per section. Now there's 25 per section. So there's 250 questions. So one thing you want to do if you want to set up a sustainable coaching practice is have a robust assessment tool. Now, some people who do our Kids Life Coach training, they really take to this tool, and the people that do really well in their Kids Life Coaching practice continue to use this assessment tool, because what it does is the parent does the assessment pre-coaching and post-coaching. It gives a graphical representation of where the child is at, where they've improved, where they may have regressed, and you're then able to see what needs to happen for that child to move forward. So you actually have quantitative data, which is numbers, statistics, for you to assess the child and to see high risk areas, low risk areas, areas where you still need to have intervention. The pre-assessment is also very useful because when you assess a child before starting coaching with them, you can pick up red flags for anxiety, depression, self-harm, suicide risk, abuse. And it's really important as a coach to understand that you have to be in your lane. And that's why all of the coaches that do our Kids Life Coach training, they set up a referrals list and a list for when children are assessed with our lifestyle assessment, which you can access on the Kids Life Studio website. When they are assessed with that assessment, if we pick up any red flags, we have a referral system that we can send that child to where they need to be. So assessment is imperative. If you choose not to use the Kids Life Studio Lifestyle Assessment, make sure you still assess. Maybe you're a psychologist and you can put your psychologist hat on. There are multiple assessment tools out there. I found that there was no comprehensive assessment tool like our Kids Life Studio Lifestyle Assessment tool. It was developed on an evidence-informed approach around the Conners rating scale, which is used for ADHD diagnosis. And I just took it a step further, and it's really comprehensive. What I love about this is it takes the guesswork out of coaching, not only for you as the coach, but for the parent, because most people are under the belief that parents should be coached. And yes, there's a time and place for parent coaching. But what this assessment tool does is when the parent participates in this assessment, they self-reflect and they have a look at what may need to be tweaked and changed within their family that is within their control. For instance, screen time for children. Oh, that's a huge issue. And many of our coaches around the world, where parents are really struggling to manage this lure of the online world and technology for children. The other areas parents can self-measure is areas such as eating habits, sleeping habits, sleep time, what the family does together. Do they eat dinner at the table? And when parents do this assessment afterwards, they spend half an hour doing it. They go, wow, okay. So before I have a consultation with the coach, I'm going to rectify these things just in case they ask me again, because these are all within my control. And sometimes it just takes that little bit of awareness. So circling back to what I think is imperative in your coaching practice to make it sustainable is to have a really robust assessment tool. Our coaches who are members of our websites, and they listed on our website as verified members, they have an opportunity for when parents do the assessment, the parents can choose their name from a list of drop-down names, and the assessment will get sent directly to that coach and be stored in their back end so they can access those assessments at any stage. So it's a really useful system, client data storage system to have as a membership coach of our organization. If you don't have that, that's okay, because you can choose to have other storage systems. However, parents really do enjoy the professionalism of having this online lifestyle assessment tool. So assess, assess, assess. Make sure you do it pre and post always. Post is always an issue with parents because when they get the good results, they sometimes get a bit lazy and they don't want to do the assessment. My recommendation is make sure to take the guesswork out of whether or not you've done well with the child, is to get the parent to do the assessment in the post consultation, that very final session when you see the parent and the child and the family together and you celebrate the achievements. Let them do it in that session so that you have that assessment if it's an issue for them to do it at home before that session. So that's the first part, is assessing. Now, the second part, where I really learned the hard way, is when I assessed a child. So I developed my assessment initially. when I started my coaching practice, but I learned the hard way that I would get these really good results, but the parents would tell me, the teachers would tell me, the assessment would show me, but how did I communicate that to my clients? And how did I sort of shout the praises and go, yay, look what this child's done, and look what I've done as a coach, because none of us like self-promotion. So what I realize is that for a sustainable coaching practice, to take the guesswork out of the next client enrolling in your coaching programs, is to work on a referrals system. So I developed these lovely vouchers, and the vouchers I would hand to my clients saying, pass this on to a friend, refer it to a friend, and they will get discount. You'll get discount on your next coaching session or coaching package. And the referral system worked incredibly well. Alongside that was testimonials, asking parents and children to do a video testimonial or a written testimonial. And I was really bad at that. And I really missed on a lot of opportunities to gain those testimonials, because what I really, really encourage you to do is to create a brag book of testimonials. And that brag book is not a literal paper book, but your brag book would be your Facebook. Who would have thought Facebook would become a brag book? Your Instagram, TikTok, wherever it is that you choose to post, LinkedIn, X or Twitter, it used to be called, wherever it is, your brag book, your Facebook, your brag book needs to showcase the work that you've done. And if you can get other people talking about you and referring you, even better. That is how you build a sustainable coaching practice. And yes, you do need to market, you do need to have a plan. And that is why part of our training is to set up a marketing plan and to think about marketing, to set dates, to have a launch, a soft launch, a hard launch, to make sure that you network with your community. And there is a really good, robust system that we do provide as part of our level 4 training in terms of setting up the marketing side. But it's really important for those testimonials and those referrals to be part of your practice when you're coaching children. The third thing, so we have assessments, we have referrals, and the third thing, now this is going to be an interesting one because I don't know whether you do this or not. And if you don't, please, after the session, start doing this, because I didn't do it initially. And I really regret that, because I would love to be able to look back. And that is to set up a coach logbook. A coach logbook literally logs your coaching hours, the clients that you've worked with, the issues that they've experienced, the learnings that you've experienced. So it's a log of everything you do as a coach. And you should have this as a professional coach, because it takes the guesswork out of everything, because you can notice patterns and trends when you had clients, when you didn't have clients, what kind of clients you're having. Alongside that, in the coach logbook is recording your CPD training, your continuous professional development training. For every 1 hour you do, you get 1 point, and you should get at least 35 points per annum. So 35 hours per annum should be recorded in your coach logbook. Now, our Teaching Tuesdays and Thinking Thursdays, which are group mentorship sessions for in-house membership coaches and students, those account for 1 CPD point. So if you attend 2 a week and there's 4 weeks in a month, you're already getting your 8 points per month for your continuous professional development training. And so I want you to make sure that you invest into that coach logbook. So you put your professional development training alongside that. You also need to indicate your professional supervision. So it's really healthy for you as a coach to belong to a membership like ours, where you have a network of coaches and you have access to me as the founder, where you can reflect and grow and ask questions with regards to your clients, and also debrief when you have faced a challenging client, because sometimes there are challenges that you face, and we learn and grow through these. You know, I've been doing this for 20 years, so I've learned and I've grown. I've got a master's degree in clinical child psychology, which makes it easier for me now. I didn't have that degree when I started, and I didn't need to have the degree, but I wanted to have the degree to give me the insight into my coaching, and I'm still hands down, I choose coaching any day of the week over therapy for a variety of different reasons. Many of them are personal, because I believe that a coaching that is trauma informed can really support a child to move forward rather than to reflect on the trauma that happened, which many times cannot be verbalized or articulated, which is why play therapy is so popular. We do play-based coaching, which is completely different because we don't do the therapy side, but we are therapeutic in our approach. Now, professional supervision in that coach logbook is so important, because it's important for you, if you're not part of our membership and you may be watching this video because I've made this one public. We do trainings like this all the time, twice a week. And it's really important for you to ensure that you have somebody that has experience with children, whether it's a psychologist or a professional coach, a master coach. You need to have somebody who's guiding you and holding your hand at least once a month for a session to support you in growing in your coaching practice. Now, part of our training when people certify to become coaches is personal development. A lot of it is personal development. So I want to circle back to our topic for today, which is guessing isn't a strategy, and taking the guesswork out of it. So the three things that I say are imperative, and maybe you would have thought that marketing has a lot to do with Facebook Lives or flyers or business cards or having a 30-second commercial or an elevator pitch. Yes, those things do come into it. But my belief and in my experience, because I've done this and I've set up my own coaching practice for children in South Africa in 2 different locations, opened up 26 branches, helped other people open up branches there. I have moved to the United Kingdom, set up coaching practice in multiple locations here. And these are the things that are non-negotiable for me. I will never work with a child that has not been assessed. And yet there are coaches out there who think that they can do that. All the good intentions in the world, they may have a very watered down version of our assessment, our lifestyle assessment tool, which has been verified and is evidence informed. But you know, I really think that when you're working with children, just because you're a kids life coach doesn't mean you don't have to be professional. Now, I know that there are some service providers who don't give you access to assessment tools. So if you are a coach and you want to use our assessment tool, you're more than welcome to make use of that and use that in your coaching practice. The proceeds go towards the Secret Parent Foundation, which helps children through faced with trauma, through psychosocial support and play-based approaches to processing that trauma. So the assessment is non-negotiable. Referrals, oh man, I wish somebody had told me about the referral thing and networking with people in my community. And then the coach logbook is imperative. The coach logbook also becomes your brag book per se. You can keep your testimonials in there. Build it exactly how you want to build it, but make sure that if you reflect back in 5 years' time, you can see your growth points. You can reflect. My coach logbook also has journal reflections. So if I've had a really great session and something's really worked and there's a tool or an activity or a game that I've tried, I will record it in my coach logbook, and you need to be doing the same. So guessing is not a strategy, but yet when I started my coaching practice, I used to guess so much. And it really took me a very long time, in fact, 2 years, I would say, to set up a coaching practice where I felt really comfortable with what I was offering people. Now, that being said, yes, these are the 3 things that you need, but you also need to have systems. So if you've done our Kids Life Coach certification, you've got the systems. You've got our 10-step system. You've got our coaching program. You've got our play-based coaching system. You've got what you need to build up your coaching practice. And nothing gives me greater joy than seeing you go out there and work with children, work in your communities, see the magic of this program and the system, and having a recipe. I mean, if you're a baker and you like baking, it's really nice having a recipe, taking the guesswork out of things. That doesn't mean you can't tweak the recipe and play around. I encourage you to do that because you have your own personality, your own ideas, and I want you to really celebrate who you are as a coach, but really don't go guessing. Don't go making things up. Don't go and try and putting the puzzle pieces together. Do any of you build a puzzle without looking at the picture? I don't know about you, but I need to look at the picture. I can't just guess my way around. And that is what our Kids Life Coaching does. So if you are already certified as a Kids Life Studio coach, go and revisit your materials. If you're feeling like you need a bit of a boost, attend the Teaching Tuesday and Thinking Thursday sessions, and we'll support you there. And if you are not yet certified and you are already coaching children, I just really hope that you'll have some nuggets that you've taken away today. And my philosophy is always that all of us need to be world-class kids life coaches. That doesn't mean we have to be the best in the world. It means we have to be the best in the world to the child that we're coaching at that moment in time. And to me, that's non-negotiable. So that's why your self-development and personal development, such as keeping a coach logbook, is so super important, because it keeps you on your toes. That's why it's so important that you uphold yourself in your community in a professional way. You know, it makes me really sad when people give kids life coaching a bad name, because they're not professional. They don't know how to conduct themselves. They don't practice with integrity. They work with children that they're not skilled to work with. And I don't want to scare you here, but if you're not properly trained, please, at least go and do our level 1 free introductory coaching course. That could be of great help to you. That could give you some insight. And then we have our level 2 theory of kids life coaching as well, which may be something you would like to explore if you don't want to become certified and you're already coaching, just to give you the full picture of a play-based coaching system that is really applicable for children and that has been developed with children in mind. So yeah, thank you for spending time with me. I really appreciate your time and attention. And yes, if you want to reach out to me with any questions, please do. If you're part of our membership, our Kids Life Studio membership, I am on the WhatsApp group. Remember to post your questions there. I'll always answer and help you. And if I can't, we have experienced coaches that can jump in. And sometimes the students even jump in and help each other, which I love, because our students are not just people who don't know about children. They come from a variety of backgrounds. Like I was a teacher, a counselor, we have doctors, we have nurses, we've got social workers, we've got business people, we have parents, grandparents, life coaches, adult life coaches. So because of this beautiful network that we have, please tap into that. Don't be scared to ask for help. I really think that there's power in having a community of like-minded kids life coaches that you can work with and connect with and ask questions with. So don't be afraid to ask. I wish that when I started, I didn't have to guess my way around things. You don't have to. If you're working alone and isolated, I can understand why you're guessing, but you don't have to do that. So if you are part of our membership, please, 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 do reach out, do ask questions. And I want to say again, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. This shows that you are a children's change maker. You're interested in not guessing your way around coaching children. And I really want to encourage you to just keep on doing that wonderful work that you're doing. I appreciate you. And the children appreciate you. Get down there, get down and dirty with the children, and get your hands dirty, painting, working with clay, sitting on bean bags, doing handstands if you need to. But remember, play-based coaching, which is the system that I like to teach, is not just about play. It's about structured activities dressed up as play, where children learn skills. And if you know what those skills are and you can dress them up in this beautiful way, again, it takes the guesswork out of things, because you know you're going to get really good results from the children that you coach. So go out there, do great things, and I'm sending lots of love and zeal your way.